Hello, this is Roz Brooks, your health and wellness strategist, teaching you how to have a healthy mind, body, and life you love. So, I am going to be talking about asthma, and I forgot that I said a few days ago that I'd be talking about that. So, I am going to cover that. But before I start talking about asthma, I made some cauliflower wings. So, today has been an amazing day. The Donald Trump's Secretary of Ag finally, after a couple months, announced that my nonprofit got a $500,000 grant. So really, really cool. So to celebrate, I am making cauliflower wings. So before I get started talking about asthma, because they're in the oven and they're almost ready to come out, please allow me to just show you really quickly what they look like. And then we'll start talking about asthma, I promise. Let me turn this around. So I wanted to show you, I didn't put these in the oven because I wanted to show you what they look like. And I will post the recipe. So you take the cauliflower, break it up into little florets. You take whole wheat flour, water, a little bit of seasoning. You mix the cauliflower in it and just put it in the oven for like 30 minutes and let it get like a crisp on it. And then these even sound like wings that have been fried, y'all. So, this is what the fried cauliflower wings look like. They are absolutely amazing. I used some vegan butter and hot sauce, and that was it. And I took that and I put it in a bowl with the hot sauce and I put it in the oven for another 30 minutes. Really, really delicious. And I will make some homemade ranch style dressing using cashews. That's also super, super easy. So I will post this recipe once we're done. And I hope you hear it sizzling because, yeah, they're amazing. So let me also tell you that because that's oven fried and I'm using butter, we will be having that and a kale salad. So I won't be making anything else to go along with the cauliflower besides a huge, huge, huge kale salad full of tons and tons of veggies because like that's enough junk. So that definitely is considered junk food. So excuse me, let me now get in place to talk about asthma. So hold on for 1 second as I get this. And thank you for letting me show you my dinner for tonight. And my dinner for tomorrow, I have some dried 12 bean soup or dried 12 beans. They just come in a package and it's 12 different kind of beans. I have them soaking in water. So in the morning, I will put that in a crock pot with some diced onions. I'll let it cook all day and I'll make some cornbread in the skillet. I'm going to show you that tomorrow. Super, super easy. Like, you know how we hate making cornbread because it's too hot? Like the oven is on right now for these wings and it's just too freaking hot. But I wanted to have a treat tonight. You know what? I'm going to have to turn. Sorry, y'all. He said the video was upside down. Thank you, Amika. Everybody else is just watching me upside down. Is this right? Is this better? Am I right side up? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all, why you just sit there letting me be upside down? Okay. Anyway, asthma. So I first want to let you know that, well, I wrote a whole bunch of notes down because this is a lot of information. I didn't want to miss anything, so I will be looking back and forth at my notes. But I want to first tell you that this is not medical advice. I'm just giving you health advice, health tips. So always, 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 before you make any changes. Hi, Mary Ann. Nice seeing you. Excuse me, guys. Hi, Kevin. Thanks for tuning in. Always talk to your physician before you make any changes. And if you or your loved one have asthma, know that there is absolutely hope that babies don't have to not play on the playground for their whole entire life. Thank you, Amika. They don't have to, so there really is hope for this. So what is asthma? Asthma is when a person has blocked or inflamed airways. And if you have asthma, if any of you have asthma, let me know by giving me a thumbs up or something so I know who's in the room. And if you have any questions as I'm going through this, if you have asthma or your babies have asthma, definitely let me know. So today, 1 in 12 people, or 8% of the population, are asthmatic. And that is a lot. That is a whole lot. In the Black community, it's actually 1 in 6. But you know, in the minority community, we lead in everything, unfortunately, in high blood pressure and diabetes and asthma. So it really is important that we definitely in the minority community begin to do all that we can to get our health together. Asthma is the leading cause of disease and disability in kids that are ages 2 to 17. So it is running rampant in our communities. So a few statistics before I get into it. 70% of people with allergies are also asthmatic. So that's super, super high. 250,000 deaths are caused every year from asthma. And they're predicting in 2025 that 100,000 people will have died due to complications with asthma. That's 100,000 brothers and mothers and children and aunts and uncles that are going to die, and they don't have to. And so they're predicting that by 2025. So just a few statistics regarding that. So the cause. Most likely the lungs are congested and you have adrenal weakness. You're probably really familiar with the tune now, adrenal fatigue. And I'm definitely going to do a video on that because that is huge, huge, huge. That causes you to be tired and sluggish and your hormones aren't working properly. So adrenal fatigue is really running huge now as well. So it's just an imbalance of the hormones. Most doctors are good at prescribing medication, which you have to have. You know, if you can't breathe and you're having attacks, you have to have medication, no doubt. But they're not really good at giving you remedies to help ease the pain, ease the afflictions without the harmful medications that you have to have. So we must strengthen our adrenals and kidneys to get the hormones and steroids to operate properly. So your adrenals produce hormones, adrenaline, and they produce steroids called cortisol. Cortisol is one of the biggest reasons. Hey, April. Hello, Annette. Hello, Dwayne. Thanks for tuning in. Cortisol is one of the biggest reasons for that muffin top that so many women have around their midsection. So I definitely want to inform you about that. And you know, it's easy. It's easy to get rid of that. So I can't wait to be able to teach on that subject. So some of the causes of asthma: family history, poor diet, being overweight, not going out of the house, being in the house, not going outside enough, or being in the house too much where there's all the allergens, and also the things that you eat, food. So those are some of the, those high sensitivities foods is what so many people are plagued with now. So some of the first things you have to do is get an allergy test. Hey, Don, nice to see you. You have to get an allergy test because if we can rule out you're allergic to peanuts and that's what's continuously causing you to have asthmatic attacks and your airways are clogged up and you can't breathe and it's peanuts, well, you get rid of the peanuts and you have taken care of the issue. So the first thing you want to do is get an allergy test. Elimination of. Okay, y'all, write this down. If you have asthma, there's just certain things you have to give up. Well, you know what? If you're trying to reduce or reverse anything, there's just some sort of sacrifice that we have to make in order to be our healthiest self. So Coffee. Coffee produces an overproduction of adrenaline, and adrenaline stresses the body. And this is why you may drink a few cups of coffee and later on that day you're wheezing, you can't breathe. Start putting all those things together. So coffee, some of the common allergens in foods: wheat, gluten, dairy, soy, and peanuts. So coffee, hi LaShanta, sister-in-law, coffee, wheat, gluten, soy, corn, peanuts. If you have asthma or your child has asthma, you have to eliminate those things pronto in order to get to the root. Hey Joanne, thanks for tuning in. In order to get to the root of what's causing it. Overly heavy processed foods, bad fats such as fried foods and pastries and vegetable oil and corn oil and all of that. Bad fats are highly inflammatory. So understand that if asthma is your airways, if your airways are blocked or inflamed and you're constantly eating bad fats, fried foods, things that are inflammatory, that is what's causing that to happen. Christian has asthma. Awesome. Okay. You gotta do this. So this video is going to be a little bit longer because there's so much information and I don't want to do asthma in 2 videos. So when you go back, or if you need to, get off or whatever, but when you go back, listen to it, pause it, take notes so that we can help these little ones. So we talked about some of the first foods that you need to eliminate. We talked about getting tested to see if there's a food allergy. 3 other things that you must eliminate that cause phlegm: sugar. Hello, Ricky. Hello, Stan. Hey, Tim. Sugar, dairy, and bananas. Those are 3 foods that cause phlegm. So you have to get rid of those. And I didn't even know bananas, or I know now, but I eat bananas all the time. So when I found out bananas cause phlegm, I was shocked. I had no idea. Hey, Ann. Hey, Fitz. Hello, Don. Thanks for tuning in. So sugar, dairy, and bananas. You have to give up and see if that helps to reduce your asthma symptoms. Removing chemical irritants, household cleaners, perfumes, lotions, all those things that have a lot of chemicals in them. Filters, getting your filters and your ducts clean is really, really important when there's people in the house with asthma. Doing a quarterly cleaning is also really, really important. Removing the carpet, that's huge because of dust mites and things that get caught under the carpet that are vacuum cleaner. And the vacuum cleaner is just constantly recirculating dirt and dust into the air. So removing carpet, as well as pets. Sometimes it can be pets. So you want to have an allergy test to see if you're allergic to cats or dogs. Another thing with regarding asthma, avoiding drastic temperature change. So I know you've probably never ever thought about this. High temperatures, so going from 110 degrees to a 50-degree room, or extremely high humidity. Hey Lisa, hey Nate. So going from areas that have various temperatures can sometimes cause an asthma attack because your body has to work really, really hard because of the sudden change. It has to acclimate from going to, out in Vegas right now, it's Bezos. Hey, Lisa. Yes, that's it. Your body has to react. It has to acclimate from going from 110 degrees into a 50-degree room. So be mindful of that. Keeping your bedrooms slightly open year round. We don't do it in the summertime because it's just way, way too hot in Vegas. But starting in about October, from October to May, my bedroom window stays cracked. It's always important to get fresh air circulating into the room. Reducing excess body weight. Asthma is becoming more common in adult women who are overweight. And I have a program coming up. I just opened up our group Facebook page called Well Women of Color. Please join in if you are a female. And there's just a lot of things we're going to do over the next 12 months to help us get fit, shed weight, just feel good, be healthy, be strong. And we're going to do all that together. Some of the foods you need to add to your diet. Pineapple. Pineapple has something called bromelain in it, and it helps to release your airways. So pineapple. Is there a change in altitude with altitude with Nevada and Louisiana? No, I don't think so. Not too much. A huge change in humidity, Lashanta, but I don't think not so much altitude. Hi, Jay. Thanks for tuning in. So adding pineapples, warm broth soups. It helps to also open up your capillaries. Adding chia seeds and flax seeds. Okay? You want to add more raw veggies. So trying to go with more raw than cooked. Radishes, so I'm going to just name off a few fruits and vegetables that are really, really good to help ward off asthma attacks. Raw veggies, radishes, berries, Brussels sprouts, hot peppers, kiwi, papaya, ginger, and some citrus. So this is what you have to add to your diet. There's some things that you have to remove out of your diet, but this is what you add to your diet. Pineapple, soups, chia seeds, flax seeds. More raw veggies than cooked, radishes, berries, Brussels sprouts, hot peppers, kiwi, papaya, ginger. So it's usually an overload of toxicity in the whole body, and that manifests in our weakest area. So that's that whole hereditary thing. So when you talk about genetics, and so most people love to hang on to that, you know, the reason I have this is because my mother had it, and the reason I have that is because my father's side of the family has it. But most of the time, that's a cop-out because only 5 to 7% of all diseases and ailments come from genetics. Most of it is just due to lifestyle. So even if your family has a history of asthma or cancer or anything, it is your lifestyle. So your family history loads the gun, but your lifestyle is what pulls that trigger. In my family, everybody has everything from cancer on down to gout. I don't have anything, and my daughters don't have anything. So hereditary loads the gun, but your lifestyle is what pulls the trigger. So when you talk about weaknesses or genetics being passed down, it passes down to the weakest part of your body. It goes, so that asthma that your whole family had for generations may make you susceptible in your lungs to having this, but you don't have to if you make the changes to strengthen up that part of the body. And so your weakest area will be your lungs, and congestion and inflammation will show up there. Taking essential oils such as peppermint and eucalyptus is really good. That will help to, you inhale it, it helps to open up your airways. Getting more rest, getting more sun, vitamin D is huge. So parents of asthmatic children, you must make dietary changes. I have tried to work with so many moms who have children who have bronchitis, who have asthma, constantly taking the babies to ER to get the what, they put the cup on you and pound the inflammation out of you. Parents, it is so important that in the whole household that you begin to change the diet. You begin to change the way that you guys live. You begin to implement all these things that I have shown, because it's not you that can't go out and play at recess. It's not you that can't, don't get picked to be on the kickball team. It's not you that can't run and jump rope and play tetherball and all of that in school. It's the baby. So we have to do all that we can. Hi, Electra. Hi, Jason. Hi, Monica. Thanks for joining in. We have to do all that we can to help alleviate those symptoms that they're having. Just carrying a can of albuterol is not, wait a minute, my phone charger is dying. Sorry about that. Hold on. I did not know that my battery was, okay. So we have to help our children to overcome these issues. Okay, I'm just gonna have to hold this. So those are a few things, parents. So next, what I wanna go over. You have to get the dairy out of the house. I know that's a tough one, and nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to give up cheese and ice cream and sour cream and yogurt. Dairy is extremely inflammatory. It's extremely inflammatory. So you have to get the dairy and congestive grains out, such as mucus and congestive grains out that cause mucus and buildup in the lungs. You have to remove those spices and condiments that are also inflammatory. So spices such as like Lawry's seasoning salt and like ketchup and dressings, salad dressings, all of those are highly inflammatory to the body. So understanding that, if you understand what asthma is, and it is inflammation in the lungs, mucus in the lungs, blocked airways, what we're talking about is reducing those foods that cause inflammation, mucus, restriction of the blood vessels, constriction of the blood vessels. That's what we're talking about. So it's really not about, oh my gosh, well, what am I going to do if we can't eat cheese? What are we going to do? Again, who in the heck wants to be running back and forth to the damn ER, getting your chest pounded on to get the mucus out? So I want you to think about this. And I heard this on a documentary that I was watching, and I never ever forgot this phrase, and I love it. And the doctor simply said, from the time that you eat a food that you know you shouldn't be eating, from the moment you finish chewing your last bite, the body has to work like hell to get it out. Like, think about that. So you eat a piece of cheesecake and it's so delicious, and you have this big you have this big slice on a plate, and you're fork full after fork full after fork full, just rolling your eyes in the back of your head and just loving it. The very last bite that you take, you get up from the table, go to the kitchen, wash your plate out, wash your fork out, you're feeling pretty good. Your body has to go in a state of war to get rid of that. So it's not worth it. It's not worth what the body has to go through. That's when, over time, the body has to finally say, look, I can't get it all out. You got to go to the ER, and the doctor's going to have to do it. Eating parsley, very good for the kidneys, very good for the adrenals, very good for the lungs. Green juice feeds the cardiovascular system, feeds the heart, helps to melt away congestion. So I want you to think about green juice. So we're talking about kale and cucumber, celery, carrots, parsley, cilantro, lemon, just making it really tasty. It literally helps to melt congestion. And that's what I want. That's the image that I want you to have. When you're drinking a green juice, stop frowning up your nose, acting as though you're drinking arsenic mixed with water. It is melting away mucus. It is melting away inflammation. It is helping to clear out cells. It is helping to dilute all the sugar. Really, really good for the body. Adults, so I don't recommend this for kids, but adults, if you have asthma, do a half-day water fast once a week. So that doesn't need a whole lot of explanation other than the fact that you give your immune system a break, you give your lungs a break, you give your digestive system a break, you allow all of that water to help flush out, thank you, to help flush out the bad bacteria, flush out the mucus, flush out the inflammation. If you can do a whole day of water and like just eat a salad and some fruit at the end of the night, that would be amazing. So with people with asthma, you need more magnesium, chlorophyll, manganese, phosphorus. So if you don't have a pen and paper now, you can watch back through this video at a later date and write those down. All of that is found in leafy greens, and it's found in a lot of other vegetables, so you look those up. You use fruit to break up the congestion. Oranges, grapes, broccoli, figs. These are all even shaped like the alveolus and the bronchus. And you know, have you seen that? It was like a meme going around, I think a couple years ago, like carrots are for the eyes because it looks like it has an eyeball in it. And what was it? Kidney beans is good for the heart because it was actually shaped like a heart. Same thing with this. So oranges, grapes, broccoli, figs, all very, very good to help with congestion. Walking, taking a gentle walk every day. So normally people with asthma don't want to do a lot of heavy exercising because it makes it hard to breathe and it can stimulate an attack. No, we don't have any figs. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we do have, I have to look tomorrow. I know we had quite a few a couple weeks ago, but they are dying off. The season's dying off. So a gentle walk daily will help to strengthen up the lungs. Putting a pillow behind your back will help to open up the airways. So just putting a pillow right in the small of your back and laying like this will help to open up the airways. Don't overeat. This causes pressure on the diaphragm, making breathing difficult. Some other notes I wanted to let you know. So I told you no bananas, no cold liquids. That shocks the bronchial tubes into a spasm. So no cold. I know when it's hot, 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 even though it's 199 degrees in Las Vegas, if I have to have cold water, because now everywhere you go, the water is 2 degrees, you ask for, and I always ask for water with no ice. Always, always, always ask for water with no ice because the water is still cold. But even if it's super cold, I will take the tiniest sips possible just to wet my mouth. Or I will take a sip, hold it in my mouth for a little bit until it changes temperature in my body. So no bananas, no potatoes, no cabbage, no wheat, inflammatory. So a few other things that you need to take out of your diet if you're asthmatic. So you want to add more omega-3 fats. Omega-3 fats, if you eat seafood, are found in those cold watered fish, such as tuna and salmon. If you don't eat seafood, you get the omega-3s from cod liver oil, flaxseed oil, chia seeds. So it's important to have those in your diet daily. Flaxseed oil, like 1 tablespoon a day, and cod liver oil, about 2 tablespoons a day. I'm sorry, 2 teaspoons a day of cod liver. And fish oil, you can do fish oil supplements, about 2,000 milligrams a day. These will help to curb the effects of asthma that you have had in the past. Foods that are whiter in nature help the bronchial tubes naturally. So cauliflower, garlic, onion, and staying hydrated. Super important, lots and lots of water. So some of the triggers, and you have to start really monitoring what triggers and like writing it down, keeping a journal. But some known triggers for most people: dairy is a trigger because it's so mucus forming. Sugar, because it's so highly inflammatory. Processed foods, bad oils. Food coloring could be a trigger. Additive and preservatives in food, so lots of junk food. When things are not natural in nature, the body reacts as though it's a foreign substance that has just entered into your body, and it will begin to attack. So you want to definitely eat, and just do this for a season. If you or someone you know or your children have asthma, try all of these tips and natural remedies just for, 30 days, 60 days. See if the person doesn't get some relief. I'm a firm believer that God has a ram in the bush, even when we're destroying our poor self with what we eat. And this is that ram in the bush. This is that help. Some natural supplements I wanted to talk to you about as well. Vitamin B6, that helps the arteries and circulation, and it helps, it helps to dilate your arteries. We talked about magnesium. It's a relaxation, like it relaxes your bronchial tubes. Herbs such as stinging nettle and turmeric. And so you can go to the herb store and get tea, stinging nettle, dry tea, and like make a hot tea, a warm tea in the evening, and add some turmeric to that. Bitter herbs help to eliminate mucus. So bitter herbs are those things like dandelion leaves, arugula. So those herbs that are kind of pungent. Some essential oils that you can use: bergamot, cypress, eucalyptus, which helps to open your airways, frankincense, lavender, peppermint. Those are some that you can use. So you can mix cypress oil with coconut oil. You rub it on the lungs and get into a hot shower or a steam room, and it'll really help to open up those airways in the same way that your inhaler will. Stress triggers attacks, so you want to keep your stress level down. You want to start your morning off with warm lemon water and a pinch of ginger. And we talked about doing some light exercise. So I have a couple of recipes, and I will post it underneath this video. One is a recipe that contains a lot of the things that I've just mentioned here, and it helps to totally just wipe out mucus from your lungs. And so I'm going to put that recipe below. And I'm also going to give you a recipe to make when you are having an asthma attack. You can take 2 to 4 tablespoons, and that'll also work like the pharmaceutical medications will. And so in that one, it has honey, lemon, cayenne, garlic, and white onion. And you blend it all up. You strain it, you strain it, or just drink it thick as is, and you keep it refrigerated, but really, really effective. So that is all I have for asthma. I hope this was helpful for you. Definitely share it with anyone you know that has asthma or has been plagued with this for many years. You don't want to stop doing your medication altogether, but doing these things, you'll see that you'll start to find some relief, and you can slowly, with your doctor's consent, begin to wean yourself off of the medication. So I am also going to post the link to our group, Well Women of Color. Yes, yes, eucalyptus. I talked about eucalyptus. You can definitely use that. Yep, essential oil. In fact, in the recipe that I just told you with the garlic and the onion, also it has peppermint and eucalyptus oil in it, essential oil. So really, really good to help improve the oxygen in your blood and in your airways. So search Well Women of Color in the Facebook search bar and join our community. I am going to be supporting all of my women into a healthier lifestyle. You know, I'm not doing anything that's so far to the right or so far to the left. I'm not an extremist in any kind of way. Only about 90% plant-based, and I'll just talk about my journey and how I do what I do and how we can stay more on the wagon than off the wagon. So that is called Well Women of Color. So please join that. And tonight in the group, because I'm going to start transitioning and doing more of my videos in that group, because we can better, you know, archive them and keep track, and it'll allow me to just work a little bit closer to those who have the issues that we're talking about. But tonight I'll be talking about a pain salve. What do people use? Like icy hot and all of those things for joint pain and bone pain and muscle pain. Well, there is a super, super simple one that's so very, very effective. So I want to talk about what that is and how to make it. You probably have everything already in your house. If not, you can get it at the grocery store. And it's super, super good for circulation. So I'll be talking about that tonight. So join us at Well Women of Color. And that is all for now. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Roz Brooks, wishing you love, peace, and a whole lot of kale.